Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Grandpa.
I'm Matt.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Aunt Becky.
I'm Mimi.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys. And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of things on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to see you. We're getting our morning started off a little bit different today. We're not heading right into the farm market. No, we're heading down over the hill. We have to haul cattle this morning, so we need to get them loaded onto the trailer. So we're just working our way down around back.
Come on. Come on, move it.
All right, right there. Hey! Well, that wasn't too difficult. We got 4 head of cattle loaded onto the trailer. When you have enough help and you have everything backed in correctly, it's not too difficult. And especially in the morning, everybody's kind of relaxed. So now that we got that job out of the way and my camera's been licked already this morning, it's time to get the day started. Greenhouse number 4 is now all taken care of. I just need to do greenhouse number 5. Now it does take a little bit longer for these lines to get completely watered. I would say about 20-25 minutes, which for some may seem like a very long time, but when you don't actively have to do it, it's not too bad. But if we can get this watering done right away this morning, that'll be a big help. And while I'm watering the plants, Daniel is also taking care of the cattle. So that will be 2 big chores accomplished right away this morning. I just came back to check to see if this greenhouse was finished. It looks good, so now we're gonna be switching the watering system over to greenhouse number 4. Now down over the hill, we do not have the computers, but we have these little things right here. So I just need to adjust them, and then we'll be good to go. I just got the watering system switched over in here to greenhouse number 4. I'll show you how I did it. We have these valves right here. Now, these can be hooked up to a computer. Because we just have the 2 small greenhouses down here, we don't have them hooked up. So all I had to do was turn this valve shut and open this one up. And now all our drip irrigation is up and running, so I just gotta wait 20-25 minutes and then this greenhouse is done. The 2 greenhouses are now watered, and the only stuff left for me to take care of down over the hill would be this wagon, which will only take a few minutes. So I just got up into the farm market. I now need to get the farm market all cleaned and set up. I also hear a delivery truck showing up, so I'm also gonna have to work on getting that taken care of. So the farm market is now all set up. Dad is not back from what he was doing this morning. Now Daniel had already got the cattle taken care of, but we haven't got the chickens taken care of. So far this morning, it's been pretty nice, but it is supposed to get hot out today, which the weather has been on the cooler side for the past couple days, so we won't complain about it. Now with the chickens, I do not need to worry about feeding today. I just need to worry about collecting eggs. Everybody's coming in. Now we collect eggs every single day, but there are some mornings where we wait. I think it's too loud in here to even talk. Now we collect eggs every day, so it's not that big of a deal. Today there does seem to be quite a bit, but that's because we had to collect really early yesterday. Just got my first basket of eggs. And here we have our second basket of eggs. Good deal. Now that the eggs are all collected, that means all of the animals are taken care of for the morning. Dad likes to do the calves, so when he gets back from his little trip, he will be taking care of the calves. But for now, we are good to go. As all of you know, we always seem to have plenty going on here on the farm. Whether it's taking care of the animals, taking care of the farm market, the greenhouses, or the crops that we put out into our fields. Now, we are gonna be focusing on one of those things a little more in depth today, and that's gonna be the vegetables. And when I say vegetables, I mean vegetables and tomatoes. I took a little walk up to the germination greenhouse just to check on how everything was growing. It is gonna be a warm one today, which means it's gonna be even hotter in this greenhouse, and we are pushing 100 degrees right now. Thankfully, everything in here can handle it. It's just gonna push its development along a little quicker. And the things I wanted to talk about really quickly were the tomatoes and our cucurbits that we have up here. Now, very recently, we had stopped by and checked on how everything was growing. They still are growing really, really nice and have beautiful root development. For the cucurbits, it's really evident that they are starting to outgrow their packs that they have been seeded into. I mean, we can still get a little bit longer out of them, maybe an extra week or two, but we really need to be concerned about planting these. We have yellow zucchini, yellow squash, regular straight 8 cucumbers, our pickling cucumbers, and then our regular green zucchini. Now for this stuff, it is the final planting of our cucurbits, which is a big deal. And I say final planting, but there is always the chance that we seed some later stuff just so that we can try and push our harvest a little bit longer. I'm not sure if we're gonna be doing that this year. We're just gonna have to see how things work out. So for now, I'm telling you that's our final planting. And then behind me, I have our tomatoes, which I am certain this is our final planting of tomatoes. We have 3 different varieties of round tomatoes here and 2 varieties of plum. From the last time that we were in here, they have had considerable growth. I'd say the round tomatoes have grown the most though. They look beautiful. So why did I say we were gonna be focusing on vegetables a little bit more today? Well, we're not gonna be planting this stuff. I'm sure we're all ready to get it planted and out of this greenhouse, but we have something we need to do first. See, we don't put these valuable crops just into the soil. We like to lay down that biodegradable mulch. That biodegradable mulch really helps with the growing process for these plants, and it helps us to ensure that we have a better harvest later on. The drip line that we put under the bio mulch helps us out a ton, and when planting into that bio mulch, it just saves us so many headaches. I wanted to bring you up here and show you just the urgency that we're working with. We need to get this done because these plants are just about ready to get moved into the field. I'd say our tomatoes could hold out a little bit longer than the cucurbits that we have in here. I mean, that zucchini, it's just screaming, it's ready to go. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted to pop up here and just show you, ooh, it is almost time to get planting more tomatoes, and I'm excited about that. You know, I get people asking all the time for tips and tricks on growing, whether it's tomatoes or vegetables or anything really. And it's kind of hard to give out tips and tricks. Well, I feel it is, because I don't know where you live. I don't know what your weather's like. I don't know what your soil is like. It's kind of difficult to just give out the tips that works for us. But I will say a few things that you can't go wrong with. When you are planting in your garden, make sure that you have plenty of space, especially for tomatoes and other crops, because we want to make sure there's plenty of oxygen around the plant. That will really help you in your fight against disease. We don't struggle with disease earlier on in our harvest, but as we get later into the year, it becomes a big problem. But probably the most important tip that we leave with everybody is to just try and enjoy yourself when you're growing vegetables or you're growing tomatoes. It's not easy. Because if it was easy, everybody could do it and I would not have a job. Now, if you do have success in growing stuff, that's good. Take pride in that. But if you struggle with it, that's okay. That's okay. There are times where we have problems, but just do your best and enjoy it because it's a learning experience every single time you plant something. I've been vegetable farming my whole life and I learn new things every single year. It's crazy. But yeah, on top of everything else that needs to be done today, we are going to be focusing our attention to the vegetables just a little bit more because we have got to get that mulch lead. Dad is now back from the wholesaler. He had to deliver those cattle. And then while he was delivering cattle, he stopped at the wholesaler on his way home and he just dropped everything off. And guess who's back? It's Matthew. Remember, he was on vacation for his anniversary. How was it?
It was fantastic. I had a great time.
What was your favorite thing you did?
Grand Ole Opry or Jack Daniels in Lynchburg. That was pretty great. While Tracy and I were in Nashville, we heard a singer, her name is Taylor Austin Dye. Look her up, she's fantastic.
I just met up with Grandpa. He was down around back feeding the calves. I was finding out what he wanted to do today. I know we need to get that biomulch laid, but I like to make sure Dad doesn't have any other plans. And as a matter of fact, he did have other plans. And here is Grandpa all ready to go on the side-by-side. What are we going to do?
Going to pick peas.
Now, you saw us just the other day picking snow peas and sugar snap peas, but now we need shell peas, which is why we're heading back to the fields. Look at those potatoes. Wow. Look good. Did you catch it? What happened? Oh, your hat blew away? And we are here. Now, right here is where we have our shell peas. Up a few rows is where the sugar snap and snow are. You will see there is some weeds growing here. That is from the dry weather. There was nothing we really could do about it. We tried our best at getting all of the weeds out of here, but it is what it is. We're not gonna complain too much because there is peas here to pick.
Should actually be 9.
Now, it's a little easier to fill a basket with shell peas because they are larger than the other varieties, but you do tend to sell them a little bit quicker, so you need to pick more. You know, these weeds are kind of nice here, Dad. You can kneel down on them. You don't got to worry about hurting your knees. Wow. Did you do this on purpose?
Nope.
No? Oh, thought you were going to take credit for it. Now, with peas, it is kind of self-explanatory. You just take what you can off the plant. You want to make sure that they have nice size to them. That is very, very important, because if they're too thin, that means there are no peas inside the pod. I'll just take this one, for example, and split it open. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. And the best part about opening them up. Tastes like candy. Hey, I got a full basket. Check that out. Now we're all picking here together, and we were talking a little bit, trying to figure out if this year is like last year when it comes to peas. Now, our first planting last year was really, really nice. Our first planting this year, not so nice. I would say because of the dry weather, this stuff really, really struggled. And the plants aren't near the size, and there's not as many peas as there were last year. But it's kind of flip-flopped. Our second planting over there is looking really, really good. It's not facing near as many issues as this first planting was. So I don't know if we're gonna have as many peas as we did last year, but hopefully that second planting makes up for what this first planting lacks in. But we're not really gonna complain. We'll be happy with whatever we can get. We understand that conditions were not perfect. So far, we already have 3 half bushels of peas, which is a good sign for us. So I usually don't talk too much about what's going on in our area, but I'll tell you something interesting. Someone had bought cows from an auction, and they got out, and Dad's phone was blowing up because everyone thought that it was our cows that were out. So everyone's calling my dad, and he was slightly offended that everybody thought that it was his cows that were out. Everybody calls him right away, but it's okay. Maybe we have some kind of a reputation.
We only have black cows. We don't have red cows.
We have a red cow.
Not a red cow. We have a red and white cow. We don't have a red cow.
I can't believe they didn't know.
I don't think everybody knows that we have like one color of cow, Dad. I mean, they just see cows and they think it's us. Can you believe that?
No comment.
The funny part is they got out over there and they ended up over there.
But anyway, it was pretty funny. They got out on the highway, stopped the entire highway, and they actually were able to capture them all, which is a good thing. I'm happy that they were able to be captured and they all were healthy. But wherever they're going, they're gonna need a good fence for them, as they were traveling. Another thing that was interesting about those cattle being out, they were bulls. It was 4 red Angus bulls. And one, we don't have red Angus. And another thing, we don't have any bulls on the farm. So those are two telltale signs. If you're in the local area and there's bulls running around, they're not our bulls. Do not worry about that. But it was pretty crazy. It was funny listening to Dad talk about all the neighbors calling him. The police were calling him, asking him about his cows. I think that's what the funniest thing was. Filling baskets up. Look at that one. Woo. We got 6 rows picked halfway throughout the field, and we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 baskets of peas. Now we do have some time before lunch, so we need to get back to picking. We have 3 more rows here. Well, I'll say 2.5. The outside row was kind of driven on by the tractor, so it's not as nice. So we have 2 rows here that we need to pick halfway out, and then we're gonna be heading for lunch. Dad and Matthew are starting down there, and they're working towards us. From what I've seen so far, there is nice peas in these rows though, so hopefully we can get another basket out of it. Ooh, these are nice. Oh wow, hold on, I need this quiet. This is gonna be a nice shot. Ooh, wow, look at that. Hold on, there's some deep thinking going on out here. Matt, say what we were just saying about peas.
I don't know, if the weather's like this, and we don't have too much other stuff going on, I don't mind picking peas.
He doesn't mind picking peas. And then what did you say, Daniel?
Too much other stuff going on, he's been gone for 10 days.
Oh, never mind, don't worry about that.
We don't like it just because it's the first thing we pick in the year. We're just not used to it yet.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Maybe peas aren't so bad. I'm just kidding. Peas, they're bad. They're not fun to pick. They're fun to eat, but they're not fun to pick. We just got done picking for the morning. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.5 baskets of peas harvested. If that's not a good morning, I don't know what is.
Safety first. Get in and then I'll put peas in your lap.
I like my new side-by-side.
We've got the side-by-side loaded up with peas, and now we're on the way home. The potatoes and the cole crops look great. Look at that kale. That's some nice kale. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I've kind of waited all year to see green back in the cooler. We got 8.5 baskets of peas moved in, and now it's time for lunch. And let's see, what are we having? Ooh, it looks like we're having BLTs for lunch. I'm excited about that. Just got finished with lunch. It was really, really good. Not only did we have BLTs, but Grammy made some dumplings. They were really, really nice. Now for the afternoon, we are gonna get started with doing some planting. Yesterday when we were planting, we were putting sweet corn into the ground. Now we're gonna be planting some field corn. Thankfully, you don't need to adjust any of the units for that. You do need to change the population a little bit, but that's not much of an issue. So for the afternoon, planting is gonna be something that's high priority for us. We're gonna get all this set up and ready to go. And then hopefully we'll get to laying mulch this afternoon. I'm not 100% sure if it's gonna happen, but I'm hoping. And I don't know where I'm gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna be with Daniel. I don't know if I'm gonna be with Dad. So we'll just have to see what happens. So I'm actually gonna be doing some work around here. So we're gonna give the camera to Daniel and he's gonna take you with him. So while you guys were with Daniel, we actually brought the mulch layer out and we were able to get some mulch laid. And here we go. Now I'm gonna give you a little idea of what was here before. we had clover that we had baled earlier on, and the clover wasn't going to be enough to bale again, so we decided to plow it up and put some more mulch here. In total, we got 9 rows of mulch laid. Now these right here we're going to be using for tomatoes, and then across our little path, that is going to be for our cucurbits. So our cucumbers, pickling cucumbers, and zucchini. So everything we showed you in the greenhouse earlier on, that is where we are going to plant it. And while I'm out here, I mean, look at these tomatoes that we got planted here. Wow, they're really starting to branch out. From the last time that you've seen them, I mean, they've grown considerably. Look at that thing. Soon enough, this entire row of mulch will just be covered by green. The tomatoes look pretty good. We'll go for a quick ride over to the peppers just to see how they look. I gotta say, these peppers look pretty nice. Although I do think the second planting caught up to the first planting, so that might bite us in the butt later on, but we couldn't control the weather. We're gonna have peppers to harvest. That's the important thing. Feeling pretty good driving throughout these fields. I mean, it was a lot of work getting all of this seeded and then getting it transplanted and all those uncertainties that we were experiencing. And now we're reaping the benefits of it. We have beautiful plants. Let's hope things continue to grow well, and then we'll have a wonderful harvest. Well, everyone, we have made it to closing time here on the farm. I just got back in from outside, so we're gonna start taking stuff off the shelves and moving it into the cooler. Alrighty. Farm market is all closed up, and we are now in the house. Dinner is not made yet, though. The girls are just getting started on it, so I'll show you what we're having shortly. Well, everyone, we are now here at the dinner table. I had to run to Lowe's for something. We're doing a project. You'll know about it soon, but just not right now. But I had to go work on the project, and I ended up being late for dinner. Took me longer than I thought. Lauren made, what was it, hun?
I can make it.
Mom, what is it?
Teriyaki stir fry.
Teriyaki stir fry. What? Good deal. But anyway, this is where we're gonna end the video today. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.